Welcome to the first episode of my on the road business and networking show. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a video podcast, doing a little sit-ups of a podcast I watch it's quite popular. I enjoy it anyway. And it features Scott Shang of Bywise Mortgage. Scott's an old Orange social media mastermind Orange County friend of mine. Always enjoy hearing what he has to say. He's always has a great take on the take on events. It's oftentimes a little bit different and quite often more intellectually stimulating than most people. They usually talk about real estate on the show, but today we're going to be looking at advertising. And this is something that can apply to just about any business out there, especially anybody who does any digital marketing, digital advertising. I have a couple friends here to help me out. The first one is the Story Hat. Now, introduce yourself, Story Hat. Let's hear what you have to say.
I'm the Story Hat. I have saved the noggin of a Long Beach Chamber member and the career of at least one show dog. For many years, I was very active in the Long Beach Chamber of Commerce and have attended most all of the social media mastermind Orange County meetings.
Okay, next up we have Hal the Computer. Take it away, Hal.
I am Hal, a friendlier computer of 2021.
Yeah, he's pretty brief and to the point. The first takeaway I got from the beginning of Scott's podcast is that most people are quite timid when they do their advertising, and they just have the wrong mindset. They're not looking at it in the long term.
Yes, they were saying that you cannot run a $1 or even a $20 a day test ad spend with the expectation of making a quick sale.
I believe one of the points was that to buy a product or service, in this case a house, it's a process. It's an unfolding story or narrative. What you're doing is taking the prospect on a journey through a land of joy and perhaps a little sorrow too.
Yes, I do agree. People often start their ad campaign asking the wrong question. The average person wants to know what kind of ad is working right now, when it is more logical to start by asking what kind of problems are the customers having.
That's right. Each person is operating from their own economic model, as well as thinking about their own needs and goals. Oftentimes, both the buyer and seller value different aspects of the transaction, and they have competing needs and wants. So that can cause some conflict, and it can cause some synergy at times as well. Whenever we're making a decision, we're always doing a cost benefit analysis. We're doing one for ourselves, and our customers always doing one as well.
Yes, behind every decision are a lot of little routines that make up the rhythm of the buying cycle.
I agree with you, Story Hat. As Scott would say, the main purpose of advertising is to get eyeballs on the advertising, on your advertising, on your business.
He said advertising is the A of marketing and that most people do not complete the following steps, B through Z. One of the golden takeaways is that advertising, if done right, is an investment and not simply an expense.
To make advertising an investment, we need to take a long-term approach to it. It's not going to be for a quick sale right now, especially for big ticket items. They have a long sales cycle. So we need to take that long-term perspective. And in order to do that, we need to follow up, have a way of actually contacting these people in the future. And that's where a CMS or customer or CRM, customer relationship management system, comes in. So that is a very important part of the puzzle.
A customer relationship management system helps humans become more consistent. You can now easily use the power of a computer to automate reaching out and contacting people at strategic time intervals.
As you talk to people about their needs, you're building a shared narrative with the people in your world. You become part of your customers' cultural influence. And as B.F. Skinner said, we all eventually come under the control of our own culture. Noah Comfly, the ad guy on the show, said you need to think about the conversations your customers are having in their own minds. What kinds of stories are they telling themselves? These are all the little narratives they're telling themselves about what their problem is and how to solve it. Oh, yes, it does include the cost benefit analysis and economic models that Andrew was talking about.
In addition to your customer's economic model and their cost benefits analysis is your own. To understand your ability to harness the power of advertising, you need to know your numbers. What kind of profit margin are you looking for? This will determine how much you can spend to make a profit. How much can you spend to replace your current customers?
I wanted to mention something else Noah the ad guy said, and that is most people try to move the prospect through the sales cycle much too quickly. The buying process is an unfolding story. You're courting the prospect like in a relationship. One way of looking at this is like the 3-act structure of a story. There is the setup, the rising action, and finally the resolution. Exploring this concept would take some time and may be best for a separate show.
I do like when Scott said a response to an ad is only a data point about the person's intent.
Yes, it is one scene in the opening act. You magically appear to help the prospect, then recede into the ether until they need you again.
To sum it up, advertising is basically to get your customers' attention, your prospects' attention. And once you have their attention, then the real story begins. So, advertising is only part of your customer acquisition costs. Then you need to do the follow up. So, Scott was saying 50% advertising, 50% after the advertising is part of your follow up and real marketing to move the people through the sales funnel until you can actually help them with a successful transaction. I think that'll be about it for today. I am wishing you the very best in life and in business. Have a great day. Bye.